Okay, class number 6 of 6, the final in the Raleigh Foundations of Toy series, soon to become a arbitrarily long class series. We started out reviewing some pendulum movements, and then that quickly mutated into just going for it with different stall patterns. So it actually turned into an anti-review. We reviewed one of the goals we were reviewing is being able to continually switch these pendulum patterns, these 1.5s, left hand on top, right hand on top, in a particular direction. What's important is to break that down, though, to get comfortable with this position that you're transitioning through. So key points to focus on: the hands are in alignment along the center line of the body, or the wall plane, body orientation, and as you play with this, you want to play with a little bit of torso turning body movement to help you feel the timing of the pendulum swinging. However, that involves also a little bit of mind with the lower spinning hand. In other words, this is spinning in place, and the whole time I'm twisting my body, it stays put in space, and that takes a little bit of practice. It's like do this sort of thing. Let's polish it up a little bit. So, to clean up this position, a little bit of mind work on the bottom hand, a little bit of torso turning to help the pendulum swing, but you're visually focusing on constantly coming back and forth through that moment where the poi heads are magnetically brushing past each other at that central focus point. So you've got both pois sweep in the same direction, and the poi windshield wiper opposite directions, but they're constantly meeting on that center line. This doesn't look so great if your hands aren't on this center line. We can get that nice symmetric moment of alignment there here, but if my hands drift apart, they're still high and low, but if they drift apart, it doesn't really have the effect. This really led us to playing with spinning in these positions and what it takes to keep that alignment. So we can spin in split time, same direction, like what you do here, double dutch style butterfly, but you stack one on top of the other. It's difficult to try to keep the timing by thinking about wrist timing. It's much easier to just focus on butterfly where you've got two circles, one next to each other, and you're really visualizing that this is like a mirror reflection. Each poi is coming up and brushing past that mirror line over and over again. This is together time butterfly, but if instead of focusing on the timing in the wrist, you focus on spatially the poi are brushing that mirror line, you can then just sort of tip that mirror line over into position. And by focusing on torso body movement, driving the poi that way, spatially you can pull the poi into that relationship and you get the timing for free. And so this is a nice place to come in and out of that pendulum moment here. Split time butterfly, pendulum, split time same direction. And so then I don't remember how we got there, but we decided to actually go into stalls with that position. So to break down how you stall, most people have learned stalling in a much more organic, large arcing method for stalling, which is a nice way to learn, but it's not the most precise or concise way to stall. The most minimal effective way to stall is literally just to move your hand one poi length to chase after the poi head and stop the poi on a dime. So we covered some of that. That can be a little difficult at first, so I gave you guys some exercises that make use of your other wrist sort of as a spacer, and actually it's also kind of just distracting you away from having to think too hard about what you're doing. So the idea is to wrap, you can get rid of this poi, wrap the poi around your wrist. So this is also doubling as practice for basic wrapping skills. So So you're wrapping the poi around your wrist. That means that you're letting the poi head fall just on the other side of your wrist. So we're not wrapping around a lot. It's just falling past your wrist and flopping back. Tiny little wraps that keep flopping and rebounding back. Now, you're going to get into a rhythm here. Your body's going to feel when that poi head's about to hit your hand. And from there, right as it's about to hit your hand, you want to slide your hand, the other spinning hand, over to this side and miss hitting your wrist. So I'm hitting my wrist, I'm hitting my wrist, I'm hitting my wrist, I'm hitting my wrist, and then I miss. And that forces you to move your hand the amount of distance that will naturally line you up for a stall. At first, you might not get it perfect, so you might like sort of, it might kind of wobble. You might see how like if I don't quite get it, it's going to wobble at the end. I mean, sometimes I might even go too far over into the wobble. But with a little bit of practice, this is really going to help you space how to hit those super tight, succinct stalls. And because you're already practicing stalling around a body part, which might seem a little trickier at first, you're going to be ready later on when you're actually having to stall around your body parts, your other wrist, while weaving and moving. So this exercise is sort of seeding several things for you. We also, the down stall is probably the easiest, but we also practice on the underside. You can also hit an up stall there. So it's the same deal. Feel the underside, 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 miss. That might be a little trickier, but that'll help you to get a really sharp, succinct up stall. I touched on it in class. I'm going to elaborate a little bit on it here in the video. The more organic way to practice up stalls, because you may want to go back and forth between these two methods, sort of yin and yang, is just swinging a pendulum. And if you swing the pendulum a little high, if the pendulum swings above the horizon, it's just going to flop, right? Like that. So, but if you swing above the horizon purposefully and chase your hand out underneath it, like, see how once my pendulum's getting above the horizon, I have to move my hand underneath it. Then I'm starting to do a stall. It's not perfectly up straight yet, but by moving underneath, I take the slack out, put it into a stall. You can start chasing that more and more, pushing your hand out more and more until you got these really nice full up stalls. This is the very yin, full, soft version. And this practice is the very sharp version. So we played with those basics, and then we came back to this position that we started with pendulums. From this position, you can also play with stalls. There's this particularly interesting stall combo right here. It's actually pulling out of a slightly strange place. And you're always coming back to the same alignment that you had with pendulums, so that means you can combo these sorts of things together. But the idea is that you're stalling one down and the bottom one up. And you want a lot of travel up and down. It's not that I'm not taking the top one and just stalling it here. I'm stalling the top one down and letting it travel down low. I'm stalling the bottom one, not just here, but stalling it and really letting it travel up. So that by stalling, I'm also changing which hand is on the top and which is on the bottom. See my blue and my orange change which is on the top and bottom, and then come in for a spin. They stall, they change which is on the top and bottom, come in for a spin. Like this. Here we are, orange is on top. I stall, switch directions and height. Now blue is on the top. Stall, switch directions and height. Now orange is on the top. And that way these can continue with mirror image stalls, right up, left up, right up, left up, so on and so forth. To break that down and give you some other exercises, we also play with stalling one at a time. So coming back to this position, practicing the alignment on the center line of the body, keeping them meeting at the center point. But then also just maybe stalling the bottom, like a little up stall there, come back. And now you're going to come back into split time opposite because you've only stalled one, and that changes their relationship. And you can stall the bottom one again over here, come back to split same, split off in this vertical position, split same in the vertical position, then you can do the top. So there's split off in the vertical position, split same in the vertical position. This is another one of those ones when you're stalling across your body, you want to do a little bit of mind work with the hand that's still spinning. Turn your body, leave the other hand in place. With the top, same deal. I'm stalling, I'm having to move my hand out there to stall, so I've turned my torso to allow it to happen. Mind work keeps this poi in place. Instead of, as I stall here and turn my body, I don't want this hand to go travel away from the stall.
Man, what else do we do?
And that with
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. So from this position, here I'm going to frame it this way. So if we do this stall and switch positions, you can come to the other side version of it. But if you do that stall and just come back to where you were, you're in this awkward position where you have to reach across the stall, unless you take a different stall, which is to sweep across and stall up, like that. And so what's happening is when you really articulate this stall, your poi is coming across near that central point, going past it. Your hand is moving in that direction, but if you were to keep spinning in a flower, that would be an anti-spin flower. In fact, you can think of it as like a box spin flower. Right, that sweep. Ooh, that's good. And by following past that sweep and stalling outside of that pedal, I end up in a position where my arm is perpendicular, the poi is stalled perpendicular, but it didn't happen in this big swoopy in-spin way that you get that perpendicular, the arm stall. It happened in an in-spin way, or anti-spin way, I should say. And people tend not to play with that type of stall as much, so I wanted to particularly point that out. Another particular combo that really illustrates this. So for people who have maybe played with this split time opposite anti-spin flower in diamond mode, where I'm hitting cardinal points with the pedals, maybe you can play with those sorts of stalls where you stall to one of the side pedals. If you push past that, you can actually get vertical stalls in that perpendicular position from an anti-spin sort of thing. Instead of doing it from a diamond mode flower, though, what makes it more natural is to do it from a box mode anti-spin flower and then stall there. So that was just a variant on this same stall pattern we kept coming back to. So the stall that you're stalling up with, if you stall it up on a plane behind you, you can pull that poi back around your head. So we're going to stall here behind the head, stall here behind the head. It's the same as this one, but you're just adding some extra flavor by stalling behind your head. So basically what we touched on is that when you're viewing things in terms of spinning your arm around in flower patterns, there are sort of like 4 major cardinal types of stalls, and most people only play with like 2 or 3 of them. So maybe the most organic is going in an in-spin direction and just doing that big swoopy stall, so that my arm is arcing in a circle in the same direction the boy is spinning, in the same direction you stall, and you end up with this perpendicular to the arm stall basically. Then when people start noticing that flower petals, the petals point in a direction that they can stall, they start, like with anti-spin flowers, going, oh, maybe I can just stall where that flower petal is going to be. I can stall where that flower petal is going to be. I can stall where that flower petal is going to be. I can stall there, there, so on and so forth. And then also in-spin, like from a 4-petal in-spin flower. That main in-spin, by the way, is sort of a mnemonic for you're spinning, your arm and toy are spinning in the same direction, and the petals happen pointing inward towards your center, which is also where you can stall there. So for in-spin flowers, one of the other very natural places to stall is that inward pointing moment and then coming back out. Like so. And then that one that we sort of started playing with earlier is the 4th one, which is the moving sort of box mode in spin, but still stalling such as a perpendicular stalls.